Hey people of YouTube, today we're covering the complete installation of the 52-inch Marsell ceiling fan by Hampton. If you found this video, you might be stuck in your own installation and you're looking for some help, we're here to do just that. We've already unpacked the fan, we're going to go over all the parts, and then we're going to install this thing step by step all the way to turning it on and everything in between, so stick with us and we'll get you through it. If you want to, you can use the links down below to fast forward to any point in the installation, that way you don't have to watch the whole video. If after watching you found it helpful, please click like and subscribe down below and that'll help other people find it as well. So before we get started, let's just talk about this fan for a second. This is an outdoor wet rated fan, so it's perfect for use in any outdoor settings. It's going to look great indoors as well. It is a dual mount fan, so it can be hung from a standard flat ceiling with the included downrod, or it can be hung from a higher angled ceiling with an extension downrod sold separately. The fan is light kit adaptable and is compatible with Hampton Universal Remote Controls and other brands as well. Now before we get started, just a couple of notes. You want to make sure that the electricity is turned off at the breaker box and at the wall switch. If you don't feel comfortable working around electricity, please consult with a licensed electrician. And one other note is if you're hanging this fan where there is just a light fixture on your ceiling, you need to make sure that the outlet box is clearly marked acceptable for fan support. If not, you'll need to swap that out before beginning. So as you can see here, we've already unpacked the fan and we've opened up the manual to the parts page. We're just going to go over all the parts to make sure we have everything before beginning, and that way we don't get stuck along the way. So first up, you'll have 5 reversible blades. Just pick the finish that works for you. You'll have 5 of the AccuArm blade arms. As mentioned, these blade arms have the captive screws to make installation easier. You have a decorative motor collar cover, a switch cap, the slide-on mounting bracket that comes pre-installed inside the canopy with a decorative ring on the top, and we'll show you how to remove that first to get started. You'll have the ball and downrod assembly. You'll have a hardware pack that has the blade attachment screws, the plastic wire nuts, the hanger and locking pin, the pull chain extension, and a rubber plug. And last but not least, you'll have the fan motor. And just one note about the fan motor, when attaching the blade arms, you'll insert the screwdriver through this access hole, and that will allow the screwdriver to reach the screws on the blade arms. It's an easy process, and we'll cover it in detail when we get to that step. Okay, so we have everything here. Just some tools we're going to need for this easy project. You need a Phillips head screwdriver. We like to have a long one and a short one on hand. You need a pair of wire cutters and strippers. Some electrical tape. We like to have a line voltage tester to make sure the wires aren't live before beginning, and of course a ladder. So we have everything here. We're ready to begin. Let's do this. The mounting bracket comes pre-installed inside the canopy with the canopy ring attached. Begin by twisting the canopy ring counterclockwise to remove it and expose the screws. You'll notice that there are 2 J-slotted screws, one on either side, and 2 standard screws, one on either side. Begin by removing and saving the 2 standard screws using a Phillips head screwdriver. Then loosen but do not remove the 2 screws in the J-slots. Once those 2 screws are loosened, simply twist and lift the mounting bracket to remove it from the canopy. Before routing the wires and attaching the downrod, you'll need to use a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen but not remove the 2 set screws on the motor collar. Once those screws are loosened, remove the twist tie holding the wires and gently stretch them out. Once the wires are stretched out, it's a good idea to twist the ends of the wires together to make routing through the downrod easier. Next, route the wires through the canopy ring and place the canopy ring on top of the motor housing, making sure that the side with the slots is facing towards the ceiling. Next, gently pull the green ground cable out of the ball and downrod assembly. Place the downrod through the largest opening of the canopy so that the downrod comes through the smallest opening. Then slide the motor collar cover onto the downrod, making sure that the largest opening is facing towards the end of the downrod. Next, route the wires through the bottom of the downrod so that they exit the ball side of the assembly, and gently pull the wires through until the downrod meets the motor collar. Align the holes in the end of the downrod with the holes in the motor collar and insert the downrod into the motor collar. Once the downrod is inserted, secure the downrod using a hanger pin from the hardware pack. Insert the hanger pin through the hole on one side of the motor collar until it goes through the downrod and exits the opposite side of the motor collar. Secure the hanger pin by inserting the locking pin through the hole in the end of the hanger pin. The locking pin will lock in place when properly set. Once the hanger and locking pin are set, use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten the 2 set screws on the motor collar. Once those screws are tightened, slide the motor collar cover and canopy down the downrod until it meets the top of the motor. If installing the fan with the included downrod, it's a good idea to trim the wires. To trim the wires, measure about a foot from the top of the ball and use wire cutters to cut the wires. Then strip off about 3/4 of an inch of insulation from each wire. Once the wires are stripped, twist the ends of the wires to ensure that there are no loose strands. Now the fan is ready to be hung. This fan features a slide-on mounting bracket for easy installation. There are 2 slots on the mounting bracket that will align with the 2 screws in the outlet box. When installing the mounting bracket, align the slots with the screws and then slide the mounting bracket into place. This is just a demonstration. To install the mounting bracket, start by using a Phillips head screwdriver to loosen but not remove the 2 screws in the outlet box. Next, feed the house wires through the mounting bracket and align the slots of the mounting bracket with the screws in the outlet box and slide into place. Finish the installation by using a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten both outlet box screws. Make sure both screws are completely tightened before proceeding. When hanging the fan, it's important to note the slot of the ball that will align with the tab on the inner ring of the mounting bracket. When hanging the fan, you'll insert the ball into the mounting bracket and then rotate the entire assembly until you feel the slot engage the tab. The fan will drop slightly when properly seated. This is just a close-up demonstration. To hang the fan, move the house wires out of the way to make it easier for the ball to slide into the mounting bracket. Next, lift the fan assembly up to the mounting bracket, noting the location of the slot in the ball and the tab on the mounting bracket. Slide the ball into the mounting bracket and rotate the fan assembly until you feel the slot engage the tab of the mounting bracket. The fan will drop slightly when properly seated and the fan will rotate no further. Begin wiring the fan by taking the green ground wires from the mounting bracket and the ball and downrod assembly and twisting those 2 wires together. Once those 2 wires are connected, twist those wires together with the bare copper or green house wire. This is the ground connection. Secure the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Next, take the white wire from the fan and twist that wire together with the white wire from the house. This is the neutral connection. Secure the connection using an included plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. Finish the wiring by taking the black and blue wires from the fan and twisting those together. Once those wires are twisted together, twist those wires together with the house black wire. This is the power connection. Secure the connection using a plastic wire nut and a piece of electrical tape. If you have a red switch wire in the ceiling, you can connect the fan's black and blue wires to the house red wire and cap off the house black wire. This will allow you to turn the fan on or off using the switch. Once all wire connections are made, gently tuck the wires into the mounting bracket and outlet box to make room for the canopy to attach. To attach the canopy, align the 2 J-slots of the canopy with the 2 screws that were loosened in the mounting bracket. Slide the canopy up towards the ceiling so the J-slots engage the screws and then twist the canopy to hold it in place. Using a Phillips head screwdriver and the 2 screws that were removed and saved in the first step, insert the screws into the standard holes of the canopy and completely tighten those 2 screws. Then completely tighten the 2 screws in the J-slots. Make sure all 4 screws are completely tightened before proceeding. To attach the canopy ring, align the slots on the canopy ring with the screws in the canopy. Slide the canopy ring into position and twist it clockwise to lock it in place. The fan is shipped with 5 rubber motor stops to prevent the motor from moving during shipment. The motor stops must be removed prior to attaching the blade assemblies. To remove the motor stops, place a Phillips head screwdriver through the access hole in the switch cup, then loosen and remove the motor stops. They can be discarded once removed. The blades are reversible, so choose the finish that you want to see and make sure the opposite side is facing up. The blades attach to the blade arm using 3 posts on the blade arm and 3 screw holes on the blade. Align the screw holes of the blade with the post on the blade arm and secure using 3 blade attachment screws. Completely tighten all 3 screws using a Phillips head screwdriver. Repeat this process for the remaining blades. The blade assembly is attached to the fan using 2 pre-installed screws on the blade arm. You'll notice an alignment post on the blade arm. This post will insert in the long slot at the base of the fan, and the screws will be aligned with the screw holes of the fan. Once the blade assembly is in place, insert the screwdriver through the switch cup access hole and completely tighten both blade arm screws. Repeat this process for the remaining blade assemblies. Make sure all blade arm screws are completely tightened before proceeding. Once the blade assemblies are attached, press the rubber plug into the screwdriver access hole in the switch cup. The rubber plug will be located in the hardware pack. This will prevent water intrusion if the fan is installed outside. Before attaching the switch cap to the fan, you will need to use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove and save the 3 pre-installed screws on the switch cap. To attach the switch cap, align the curved notch cutout on the switch cap with the pull chain on the fan. Push the switch cap into place and secure using the 3 screws that were removed and saved. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to completely tighten all 3 screws. Attach the pull chain extension by snapping it onto the fan's pull chain. The pull chain extension will be located in the hardware pack. This fan has a 3-speed reversible motor. The reverse switch is located on the switch cup at the base of the fan under the rubber cover. Switch left will produce a downward airflow to create a cooling effect during the warmer months. Switch right will create an upward airflow to pull warm air from the ceiling into the room during the colder months. Factory default setting is switch left for a downward airflow. Make sure the fan is off and not running prior to setting this switch. The fan speed is controlled by the pull chain. Pull once for high speed, twice for medium speed, and 3 times for low speed. Pulling the chain a 4th time will turn the fan off. Congratulations, the ceiling fan installation is now complete. Time to kick back and relax with a nice tall beverage and enjoy your handiwork. As always, thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe down below, and that'll help other people find it as well. And as we always say around here, keep it breezy.